His mastery of the trumpet has made Wyntan Marsalis one of the modern era's most celebrated jazz musicians. But the winner of 9 Grammys and the Pulitzer Prize for Music has also used his prominence to advance many social and political causes. Most notably, he was a vocal advocate for his hometown of New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. And now he's working very hard to make sure that the arts don't get starved during this period of economic hardship. The sweet, very sweet sounds of jazz. For Wyntan Marsalis and his trumpet, it's not just about notes, it's an identity, a way of life. The 47-year-old Marsalis was born and raised in New Orleans. Where else? The city that loves a good Mardi Gras and boasts an unparalleled jazz scene. Of course, that was all before Katrina entered the lexicon. Now, after unimaginable success as one of America's leading jazz musicians, Marsalis has recast himself as advocate, lobbying Congress to support the arts in the face of the economic crisis.
There is no greater task that confronts our nation in this time than coming to grips with who we are from an artistic standpoint. Bless you.
The sneezes couldn't be more apt. After all, the economy is making everyone on Capitol Hill and beyond sick these days. But the jazz community is full of pragmatic optimists.
It's going to be a tough period, and it's incumbent upon us, A, to be realists. That is to say, as the world tightens its belt, we too need to tighten our belts. But B, also to look very imaginatively at pluralizing our income and being as entrepreneurial as possible.
For Wyntan Marsalis, music and art are not just a distraction from an ailing economy. They could be enlisted as one of the cures. But is it enough to persuade lawmakers to hand over their money? I sat down with him earlier today. Wyntan, you're here in Washington to try and make the case for the arts and perhaps get some more money out of the government. Are you confident you can do that in a time of recession?
I'm not confident that we can get any money for the arts, but we should be able to get money. The government has to work in either case, and we all pay taxes. I've been paying taxes for a long time. And I believe that in this time, what our country needs is to focus on its identity. And
that's an identity that's forged by culture.
That for all people all over the world. We're a little different from other peoples because we're brought together by documents that were put together before our culture was formed. In most instances, people have a culture and their economic and political systems grow around that culture. In the case of the United States, we had a foundation, a structural framework, and then people started to fill in and develop the culture. We're still a young country, but we have yet to really identify the value of culture to our economic and political success.
Do you think that the appreciation, the understanding of culture becomes more difficult during a time of recession?
No, it becomes easier. It's like during the Depression, because when people start to have economic hardship and have actual hardship, lose jobs, trouble with family, they instinctively bond together in community, and they instinctively reach for periods of time in their past when their identity and their heroism came to the fore. In the United States, that would be the 1930s. That's the most classic era of our culture. However, I'm not suggesting that this time is like the 1930s. It's not. But I'm saying that in the past recessions, arts flowered.
I understand that, but how do you actually use those arguments to get money out of the government, to get money out of lawmakers on Capitol Hill?
I'm a grassroots person. Okay, that's where I'm coming from. I'm not in the politics of it and the marketing of it. I'm coming as a person who is a United States citizen that pays taxes and knows that the government has got to spend some type of money to run, and we're giving it money, that this issue, the issue of the arts, deserves to be funded all the time, and more so in times of hardship. It will help people more to know about culture, and it will help us to heal better.
You know, it's not exactly as if they're not dishing money out. I mean, they're literally hurling billions of dollars at failing banks and insurance companies and car makers. It would be grossly unfair, you would probably think, if the arts didn't get some of that money.
Well, I don't want to get into that kind of, you know, you gave them, so give us. Because before you started giving them, I was saying, give us. So for me, I would give it to the arts before I gave it to anybody. But I'm not going to say that a tune is more important than eating some bread. Because if you're not alive, you don't have time to enjoy music. Music is a luxury, and the arts are luxuries. But at a certain point, when you get to a certain point, an art form is not a luxury. Because at a point of your survival, your existence, it depends on your understanding of who you are and your identities.
But can something good come out of this? Can something cultural flower in this time of recession? Something that's good for the American soul?
That's the history of human beings. We fall, but we rise. Now, when We can rise to a certain point. It's very difficult for us to stay up there. Go back down, we get up again. That's the joy of being alive, and we will rise to that challenge.